competition, competitiveness, risk-taking, aggression. These things have been labeled toxic as mental health issues by the APA, the largest mental health association in America. And now the AMA as well, the largest medical health association in America. They both are on the woke train 100%. Our doctors, our psychiatrists, our psychologists, all of them now are thinking, A, everything is corrupted by racism and misogyny and masculine power, and we need to eradicate it. And today it's counseling it out of you, through therapy and shame. Soon it's going to be castration through hormone pills for those who are just too masculine. And of course, right now, if your 14-year-old daughter says that she is a man and she says that she wants to go get testosterone to become a man, and you say you don't want her to do that, if you live in Canada, you go to jail if you continue referring to your own daughter as your daughter.
Yeah, we have this article here real fast. I know you brought this up. You shared this, right? From Post Millennials. His father was jailed after referring to biological female child as his daughter. This is absolutely insane. Check this out. There's a man in Canada who can only be alluded to as he who shall not be named, Robert Hoogland. For the sake of natural justice, it is important to speak this man's name. He is now the Canadian state's prison of conscience. The warrant was issued by a judge for the arrest of a father after calling his biological female child his daughter and referring to her with pronouns she and her. Hoogland was found to be in contempt of court. He is a father to a gender nonconforming biological female 14-year-old who identifies as transgender and prefers what happened there? Oh, and basically prefers to be used by male pronouns and has repeatedly called this person his daughter, though the court has forbade it. So it's like, this is the attack on the Western man. It's like a father saying, no, for my child is not going to be subjugated to the propaganda of the world. And even if my child does have sexual confusion, which, by the way, there's real problems that happen in development with sexuality. If everybody wasn't sexually confused at some point, then you didn't grow up. And I don't mean bisexual or gay. I mean, if you thought that you were going to, to have 100 harem when you grew up, like King David or something, you're 14, or maybe, some people felt like they weren't very sexually active. There's a lot of people who thought that something was wrong with them in high school because they weren't interested in sex till a later age. I mean, you figure out your sexuality, it develops over time. But that's not to say that if you're 14 years old, that you have any authority in your life to come up and tell your parents what they need to call you. And now the state is saying that they are more important than fathers. And I think that's where the argument comes in, is that the reason why they're attacking and they're trying to kill the masculine, strong Western male is because if he is weakened and he doesn't exist, the only person to take his place is the state.
That is exactly right. And, if my daughter came to me and said that she wanted me to call her by whatever, we could have a conversation about it. Maybe I'll accept it. But I will not accept the government telling me what I have to do with my own children. I will not accept the government forcing me to use particular words when in my own home dealing with my own child. And then I would be that guy in jail. There's no question about it. I know my personality. And if the government was telling me I can't talk to my daughter how I want in my own home, I would certainly have pushed that button and made a big deal out of it because I'm just that kind of guy. But this man seems to be just standing up for what is right. Standing up for what is right in a time of chaos takes insane courage. Kudos to that man for having the fortitude to stand up for what he believes is right. Now, everybody does have some element of confusion. Hormone mix makes confusion. It's part of the process. It is a liminal process, as it were, a transformation, puberty. And it's hard enough as it is without people on the outside saying to you, hey, look, that confusion you're feeling? Guess what? It's going to get worse. Guess what? I have the answer for you. And the answer is here in taking male hormones to turn you into a man. This is the part of it that gets me the most upset. The feminists and the radicals will tell you over and over again that there's no such thing as essentialism, that there's no biological determinism, that who we are born, our biology, none of that matters in terms of our, quote, gender expression. They will tell you that gender identity is completely socially constructed and it's injected into your brain and you can actually reject it. They think we can reject the social constructions. But when it comes time for a trans person to, quote, consider their social constructed gender identity, the first way that they go about remedying this is by what? Injecting them full of the male hormone testosterone, as if biology is the driver of masculinity. So this whole thing is filled with contradictions. It's irrational. It's unsafe. It preys on children, all at the altar of destroying, quote unquote, the patriarchy. All of this, the trans issue, which exploded overnight, like 5 years ago, maybe, all of a sudden it was the biggest issue in America, cover of National Geographic, PR program, all spread all over the place. All of a sudden, this issue, which affects less than 1% of the population, right? Keep that in mind, is now been elevated to the forefront of our discourse because it is the last remaining battlefield. If the radicals can win this fight, then they have successfully obliterated the barriers between men and women, the boundaries that define us, and they will have actually won. This is the fight. This is where we have to really dig in, because if it goes past this point, I don't see the bottom. There's no bottom from here.
A great philosopher once said that you can be 2 out of 3 things: liberal, smart, or honest, but you can't be all 3. At Slightly Offensive, we're smart and honest. And if you like this clip, head over to Slightly Offensive YouTube channel by clicking right here, where you can find new episodes of our show weekly. We're bringing you the topics, news stories, and angles that will have you saying, why the hell wasn't I subscribed sooner? Also, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe to this channel too.